Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I apologize for getting started just a little bit late. Let's see. Hi, Mina. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Michael. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Steve. Hi, Mellow Yellow. Hi, Rhonda. So lovely to have everybody here tonight. Alrighty. We are going to continue working on our seascape here. And hi, Kyle. Welcome. Yes, Mina, I got my webcam fixed. Well, I had to get a new one, so definitely very good on that. I apologize. The last couple live streams, my webcam was just on the fritz, and I couldn't figure it out, so I had to get a new one. Awesome. Okay. So just kind of taking a look at where we left off last week. I still need to spend a few more layers in these palm trees up here, and so I'll probably dive into that one while I'm fresh and kind of get some of the layers in there. And then last week we established the sky, which is pretty good, and we started on our waves and our oceanscape, but looking here at the overall appearance of the ocean, I think we need to go quite a bit darker on the ocean. So we have a nice start, kind of a sketch as far as the ocean goes, but we need a whole lot more information there. Lori Lee, you broke your hand. Oh no. I am so sorry to hear that. How did you break your hand? And is it like your is it your artistic hand? You know, whatever, right hand, left hand, whatever your dominant hand is. Oh my goodness. I've broken way too many fingers over the years, and it's not fun at all. Hi, Night Owl. Hi, Barbara. Oh, yeah, that is no fun, Lori Lee. Alrighty, and then a lot of our foreground elements are looking pretty good. Definitely need to darken up that palm tree, and then tonight we will also try to put in this little tidbit, which is kind of the last of what we need to do. So I'm going to just jump right in here. We will start with some of those palm fronds and make some more layers there. And do some adjustments. Oh, thanks guys for hitting the thumbs up and the subscription button, and all that is always much appreciated. Okay, so I am working here with the Pro Point for now. Hi Terry. Just to try to get the, you know, a little bit more of those dark values in there. And I don't know, I always feel like I'm in the way. I'll put me, I don't know, down here. I'm gonna sit in the corner, guys. Hi, Vivian. I have got some crazy allergies going on tonight, so I'm a bit stuffy. And yeah, welcome to spring in the high country. All right, so let's really start kind of jumping forward here on those palm fronds. Oh, Terry, nobody puts baby in the corner. Well, it's a good thing I'm not a baby. I can handle a corner. I'm okay with that one. That's a fun reference, though. No, I'm fine. I'll sit in the corner. I gotta be in one corner or the other. Lori Lee, you slipped and hit the stove hood. Not your burning hand, but you can't move yet. Awaiting surgery before it can be set. So unable to balance wood. Oh dear, Lori Lee, I'm so sorry. Those broken bones can sure be a long time in recovery. Not fun. Would not recommend. Although I've broken several, smaller bones throughout my life. And I've also sprained, like my ankle several times. Personally, I would take a broken bone over a sprained something. It seems like the recovery time is a little bit faster on like I broke my foot, I broke my collarbone, I broke, I think, four or five fingers out of the 10 over the years, and it always seems like the sprains take longer to heal. But my goodness, I'm so sorry, with having to have surgery, and wow, that is not no fun at all. Oh, Jenny, welcome. Glad that you can join us tonight. You're just starting this craft at 67 years old. Awesome. Well, welcome. We are having a lot of fun. This is our 5th 2-hour live stream on this project. So if you're just getting into wood burning, it takes a little bit of time. It's not a very speedy art form like painting or some of those others, and it just takes a while. So lots of layers, lots of patience, and that's a good place to start. Awesome, Lori Lee. Yeah, take good care of your hands. They are so important. Lots of practice. Yes, Terry. Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just kind of jumping around. We've spent quite a bit of time on this project, just jumping from here to there, but it is a very dynamic project. There's so much going on. Lots of different textures and subjects, and we're just trying to kind of sneak up on those as we go. And we're now in kind of the finish out work for everything. I have hold on. There we go. Curtains. Curtains are good, guys. Okay, well, that's a bit better to see. Okay, Mina, thank you. Yeah, for all the new beginners joining us tonight, keep in mind that we have a huge online community over at Mighty Networks, and we have all of our past projects there, from beginner to intermediate and advanced. So depending on what you're looking for, there's a ton of content over on our paid platform. Mina just put that link in the chat to jump over to our bear den, which we call our community, and see what's there. So lots of it, a lot of fun. This is what, our 30 something live stream. I have to take a look at it. We've had over 130 live streams that are 2 hours each, and we've talked about so many different things and have a lot of fun learning different techniques and subject matters from beginner to advanced and beyond. And all of those are archived over at the Mighty Network platform. So 134, Mina, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot. We've been at it for a few years now, and we just love all the different projects that we've been creating. Thanks, Cynthia. It is a great community. Christy says, my granny has always told me, take care of your teeth, your back, and your feet and your hands. Yeah, agreed. Those are very important. Although sometimes those things happen where they get injured or damaged, and that's no fun at all. All right, so we're just adding a few more layers here into our palm tree. So I know last year we took off, we had like several months worth of break. I was coaching Little League, and my son was going through some really hard health challenges. And I thought it would be best last year just to like, we're going to take a break. I'm going to take a couple months off and just pick up later in the summer. So this year, I'm still coaching Little League and everything else, but I decided that I got really wonderful people to work with in Little League, and they got me off on Fridays. So we've been doing the live streams even though my schedule has been slammed busy. Almost every day we're traveling to town to do either coaching or, practices or games or something. And we are a 2-hour round trip from town, which is crazy. It takes me 2-hour round trip just to get a gallon of milk. So we have been incredibly busy and still trying to make time for the live streams. And I just really appreciate everybody for hanging in there. I know I've been pretty quiet here over the last couple months, but that is why there's just not enough time to go around. By the time we finish practice in town at 7, it's an hour to get back home. It's 8 o'clock. I think that's too late to, text or do anything like that. So I tell you what, it has been quite the challenge. Also for your future planning, so you have Little League that does their season, and then you nominate the kids to go into something called All-Stars, where they get more practice and more opportunity to learn. It's like the best of the best moves on. And nobody was able to be a coach for our Little League All-Stars, and so I put my hand up, and I will be doing Little League softball for another month. But I told everybody I'm busy on Fridays, so I should still be able to be here for the live streams. So just to let you know that if I'm still a little bit distant, not really distant, but inaccessible, I'm usually not home. I'm either coaching or traveling to or from the softball fields. So doing that. And then what is going on with our live stream? We have some buffering. Okay, anyway, crazy busy, but I will be here most every Friday that I can. Also, next week, for your planning purposes, I will not be hosting a live stream next Friday because it's my son's birthday. And he's the one that had a lot of health challenges, and another birthday, another year is always a blessing. And so we don't want to miss that one. So I will not be here next week for the live stream, but I will be here in 2 weeks. It should be. Both of my sons have birthdays right back to back. So let me just double check before I commit. Calendar. Yeah, I will not be here the 23rd. I will be here the 30th. And everything else is good. So that is the plan moving forward. And then we have a beginner live stream coming up the first Monday of June. Okay. All right, so we're definitely working on some of our shadows in the palm fronds, trying to push those a little bit darker. Not out. You've been here for about 8 months. Yeah. Awesome. Cynthia's saying that you're getting, more weather. Oh no. Your basement is flooded. Oh dear. That's really difficult. Oh. Night Owl, your birthday is next week. Awesome. Happy birthday. Mina's having a hailstorm. Oh dear. Wow. Yeah, everybody stay safe. I know the weather is just has been crazy of late, I think. So I went through the palm fronds and I'm trying to push my values darker. But when you have a lot of darks and a lot of lights, your project can look really flat, almost like a coloring book type of project. So we want to start adding in some more mid-tones here. So we're just going to start blending and shading and adding a few more of those soft, subtle mid-tones. Try to get everything to blend together. It's not a good angle. Okay, so that is making our palm tree look a little bit more natural and kind of in its element. Okay. Thank you, Mina. Yeah, I love being here with you guys, and it's so fantastic. And there's, also so much going on in life that I try to really balance out and make time for you all, because it's such a fun time, and also take care of the other responsibilities that need to be taken care of as well. And thank you everybody for being here and supporting, the channel and all that. You guys are just fantastic, and I hope that this all helps and that you have fun with your projects. Okay, so I think we're finally starting to get enough layers here to where our palm trees are looking more balanced, a little bit more, put together. Okay. Thank you, Terry, for the compliment on the palm fronds. We are getting there quite well. Okay, so I'm going to move me again. All right, so taking a look, I know that I want to darken up some of the rocks in here a bit more to get things balanced out. Aw, thanks guys. Really appreciate everybody being here. So I'm going to be working in this little rocky outcrop. We did our initial sketching and that was good, but now we need to kind of go through and darken up some other areas. And just work on our values a little bit. Because there's a lot of values to put in here. Most of this is quite dark. The shadows are dark, and then we have kind of a mid-tone in there that needs put in place as well. Thanks, guys. Hi, Larson. Welcome. Good to see you again. We are just kind of building off of our beach scene here. Vivian, thanking me for the live streams. Oh, you're managing your time better as well. That's awesome. Very good. Thanks, Vivian. I wish that I could spend so much more time, 100% of the time with you guys and 100% of the time with everything else. And unfortunately, I can't. And so I do have to balance out the time. Winter, I have a whole lot more time inside and behind my desk than now. Springtime is fantastic at 9,000 feet. We can see the ground. We haven't seen the ground in like 6 months. So we're really excited to get out and work on some of these projects outside because it's going to get hot, unfortunately. And then in the month of July, we have our July flies, which they bite and they're mean, and you don't really want to be outside in the month of July. So it's all hands on deck during the springtime, April, May, June. If we're lucky enough to get in April, a lot of times we don't even see the ground until the first part of June. So a lot of projects outside right now, and then the coaching and all that is a lot. So, but I know that there will be more times where I can get inside. We get the monsoon season coming soon, like in like July-ish, and I'll be inside a lot more on that one. August, it's just hot. It's not very pleasant to be out during the midday. And of course, during the winter, I am inside most of the time. So thanks, Larson. And Larson, I think you sent me a question regarding my cameras, like that I use for the live streams. Let me know if that's right. I have been inundated, just bonkers crazy with coaching and teaching. So I haven't been home very much, but I think that you sent me a question about a camera. You're saying that tool that you're working with is the one you're trying to use. Okay, cool. Yes. So yeah, let's see. My overhead camera is a Sony. I've had it for like maybe 15 years. It's kind of an older camera, but it shoots in HD. What does it say? Hang on here, guys. It's an HDR XR150. I have purchased some newer cameras for this, but I've not been very happy with them because the batteries won't last. They get really hot and they just quit. So the older cameras, if you can find them maybe on eBay, I find that the older cameras tend to work better for live streams because it's recording nonstop for 2 hours. And the other more newer cameras that I've found, they can't handle it. They get overheated, they run out of battery power and all that. So you might look for an older camera if you want to do longer live streams. And I really apologize for not getting back to you sooner. I'm so glad that you showed up tonight, and I see that you're doing some live streams as well, and that's fantastic. So I hope that helps. Text you the name and brand sometime. Okay, I will try to do that. Terry just got, all right, okay. Mina, can you make a note of this and put it in the chat for Larson, please? It's a Sony model HDR XR150. If you're able to put that in the chat for Larson, I know that he would really appreciate that. Larson, yeah, GoPro doesn't work. I got a super fancy, another Sony camera or something, and no bueno, it did not work. I was really disappointed. And I have all these batteries for it, and it would overheat, and it just would not work. Thank you, Mina. Hopefully that you can jot that down. If you need me to repeat the numbers, I certainly will. There you go. Mina, you're awesome. Thank you. That's the one. And then I for the forward-facing camera, it's just a Logitech HD 1080p. Cool. All right. Thank you, Mina, for getting that to Larson. All right, so this is coming along pretty well. We're darkening up some of the shadows in the rocks, and that's all good. Okay. Okay, so we're making our shadows a bit darker. They seem almost like too dark right now, but let's add some mid-tones in here, and I bet we can kind of knock those down and make them look better. Thanks, guys. Yes, we have to keep Mina always. She's just on the ball. Alrighty. Continuing with our rocky outcrop here. So we have a few little pebbles. Well, they're bigger than pebbles, but they're a long ways away. Terry, that's a lot to balance with your exercising and grooming the dogs and artwork. It is. It just is a lot going on. I think that's one of the biggest challenges with everybody in their life, is just balancing out so many different things. It's easy to say yes to, the next opportunity or the next possibility, and yet we forget all of the other things that we already said yes to, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we do the best that we can. Okay, I'm going to keep working around here in the dark rocks, building up our layers. You're welcome, Larson. Thanks for being here tonight. So Vivian says, funny how every time I think I'm done with a drawing, I'll let a few days go by, and when you look at it again, you see something that needs to be fixed. Yeah, that's definitely the way it is. Night Owl, you're waiting for your second win for wood burning after 4 back-to-back burnings for others. Oh my gosh. Gush? Goodness. And gosh is gush. Yeah, that's difficult. Doing commissions for other people can definitely be, I find it kind of taxing and a little bit draining. All right, we're getting more value and definition here in our rocks. Okay. And let's continue making these guys a little darker as well. So I'm going to touch up the darkest parts of the shadows on the bottom side of the rocks. It's amazing when you first put those in, those values, and there's nothing burned around them, it seems like, oh my gosh, it's too dark. But once you start developing the rest of the picture, you have to keep burning it darker and darker, which is kind of fun. Would you please tell them to, like, tone it down? Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, the rocks, they're getting along pretty good. Terry says that's why you never sign your pieces up until about 2 weeks after you think they're finished. That's a really cool. Thanks, Mina. Awesome, Vivian. Yep. It's always good to make sure that you have found a good place to stop and then sign the artwork. Okay. Let's see. No, let's not do that. I gotta move stuff so I can scooch on around and get to a better place here for the this lovely wet. It's like a wet sand area. And then we have a little bit of kind of reflection based dark areas here. Hi Wayne, welcome. Yeah, we've been pretty busy here as well, so glad that you could make it. Barbara, you are looking forward to getting some art done, still getting things done. Your place and your art space is a mess. Oh, yeah, I don't know whose art space isn't a mess. I think that kind of just goes hand in hand with being an artist, is that the art space is always a mess. Mine is for sure. Yeah, it's a wreck. But gotta deal with the hottest fires, and the status of my office is not one of them at this time. Barbara, you just want to head over to that beach. Oh boy. Yeah. it's pretty beautiful. All right, so I'm going to add just a touch of shading here in the sand. It should not be super white bright, even though it's fairly light in value. I'm trying to save the brightest values in our project for the highlights on the waves. We have some more shadows here. Not really shadows, they're reflections. More so reflections. And I am just going to kind of work in this general area here and start in on some of the waves. I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's where I'm at for right now. Just lots of layers, pushing a little bit darker each time. Okay. Oh, you guys are talking about lobster. That's pretty tasty. I am the lobster fanatic in the family. All right, I'm going to pull some of the shading in the waves up a little bit higher. Start building on some more depth in here. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Barbara. I'm getting hungry too. So let's add in a few more kind of lines throughout the waves to just add some more structure. right. Thanks, Night Owl. Oh, Vivian. You're wanting lobster, but all you have are Cheetos. Oh, dear. Aw. Yeah. Lobster is pretty tasty. Okay. So I still have a lot of kind of splash pattern in here. That will be quite the challenge to burn around, but I can maybe make some stippling in here to start on that. Terry, you love the tap, tap, tap on the wood. Well, thanks. I do too. I find it very, very peaceful and kind of soothing. All right, I need to either move this up or work on a different area. But we are, so this little area here is starting to come along. I think I will just prop it up a little bit. Whoops. Let me prop it up because I'm running off the table here. And we'll just kind of work in this general area. See what we can do. Zoom out a tad. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just take a look and see what really jumps out at me as far as areas that need to be darkened, and just continue to build up on. As we get more and more value down on the wood, you'll find more areas that you can burn. Thanks, Wayne. Yeah, this is a very beautiful design. It's available over on our paid platform, so if you are a member of that, you get the project for free. Depending on the tier that you join, this is the diamond tier, so it's our top tier. Since it's such a complicated and in-depth project, it's our top of the line pattern. So let's darken up the sands a little more. This is where I think the project really comes alive, is when you start putting in more midtones. It just seems to kind of settle the overall project. So if you're feeling like your piece is a little bit unfinished or not really having a lot of dimension, start putting in some more midtones and it should come together pretty well. Mellow Yellow, that's awesome that you just had some lobster for Mother's Day. Very cool. Thanks, everybody. Alrighty. You guys are so mean.
We are mean?
you're mean.
This isn't bad.
A little bit. You brought home, hello, Sophie, hot, tasty pizza.
I think she's some cheesy breadsticks.
Well, and I hear everybody over there eating, and they're like, "Oh, this is so tasty."
We'll be here when you're done.
I know. It'll be cold.
There's plenty.
I just hear all like the little yummy sounds coming from the kitchen, like nom nom nom. So what all did you guys get? Is it like what kind of pizza?
Looks like a meat lovers and a supreme
A meat lovers and a supreme.
with thick crust.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yep, just 2 of them.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I will wait. That sounds so great, guys. Everybody going to the beach. That'd be fun. And if I need to zoom in, please let me know. I have a little bit going on here. Yeah. Sophie, she's chilling out. She's like, where is she? Right down there. Chilling out in the pile of papers on the floor. Terry says this is National Pizza Party Day. I love it. Add a little bit of a shadow under this wave. Okay. Just keep burning, just keep burning. What do? We burn, burn. Just keep on going here. Touching up our shadows, making those rocks look a little bit darker. Getting our nice highlight kind of underneath there. That's all good. Darken up our reflections. And let's pull some shading down into our sand. A little more shadow underneath that white, like the wave as it is rolling into the beach. Some more reflections here as well. All right, let's see what we can do in here to add a little more definition. We're going to put in a few more lines to make it look like we have more waves in this area. Hello.
Hi. you start and when did you stop?
I have those as screenshots on my phone.
Okay.
Start 12:30 and 4:15 for me.
Okay.
And then you, whenever you finished.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So just adding a few more little stripey things in here can really give a lot of life to our waves. So it's looking pretty fun so far. Done. Steve is asking, as you're working on a burning, how do you determine when enough is enough or to add more details? That is a very good question, and I would say something that you want to just kind of allow time to help you answer that question. So if you are looking at your reference photo and you're saying, okay, well, so there's tidbits here I can add. I've got a little twig there. This doesn't look quite dark enough. Once you kind of run out of those things where it's obvious that you want to make some adjustments, then I would say set the burning off to the side for, a week or two and just get away from it. And then pull it back out after a couple weeks, take a look at it, and it's like, oh, well, okay, that area I completely missed because I was focusing on something else. And it's just good to give time its blessing on what you need to add or not. So taking breaks can really help and just getting away from your project. So another thing that you can do is hold your picture in a mirror or take a picture of it. It's amazing how just looking at your project, your eyes see so much differently than a camera. So taking a picture of your project, it's like, wow, well, that area is kind of pretty obvious that I need to add more details or adjust the shading, etc. And that is a good tool. And then anytime that you hold it up in a mirror or you take a picture and you flip it, it's easier to see kind of some of the areas that you missed or maybe need more information. Now let's see. Vivian says, I don't know if it's an optical illusion, but it seems that when I look at my piece, since I did it in pencil, next time I see it, it looks like it's faded, although I use workable fixative. I have had that same thing, Vivian, when working with colored pencil or just pencil graphite. I believe that it fades as well, and I don't know why or how, but I agree. It seems like I have to touch it up and keep trying to make it darker, and I don't know why. Good night, Wayne. Thanks for being here tonight. Cynthia, you take a picture to help see what needs adjustments. That's awesome. Yep, I think that's very good. Okay. Hey, hon.
Yep.
Would you go ask Will if he needs some mullein, please?
See if Will needs mullein.
Mullein. Thank you. Okay, lots of different lines in here. Oh, I'm really liking this area here, guys. Tonight we've made a lot of fun progress. Because I refilled the mullein, I think he could probably use some.
That cat is frozen out there.
Oh, watching?
What he's watching.
Okay.
A bear or a deer.
I hope not. Alright, so I'm going to add a little more shading here in the foreground. It doesn't have to be a real smooth shading. I can kind of break it up, make it look a little more irregular. But in some areas, we're starting to get into the more fine-tuning finishing touches, which is some of my favorite things to do. Oh, you can still see there. Okay.
He was a pizza pig just a little bit too quickly.
Well, I have a feeling it might be the cheese as well, but he still probably ought to get some mullen. I'm going to kind of darken up the shadow behind the chair a little as we start developing more values, more light midtones and midtones. It's good to just touch up some of these other areas here. Okay. Alrighty, since I'm in the neighborhood, let's work on that. I'm gonna put me down, like down there is fine. I'm gonna start working on this little island. Might be good to turn the burner down on this one. We'll see if I'm able to make it work. I'm going to zoom in because this area is really tiny. I might move me again. Vivian, it drives you crazy. Yeah, I get it. All right, I'm going to move me someplace. And we'll try to work on this little area with the lighthouse. My lighthouse is a little crooked right now, but we'll just keep working on it. Thanks, Cynthia. Yeah, that's the coolest thing about wood burning is you just keep sneaking up on those shaded areas, and with each layer it gets better and better. Okay, and my camera is looking kind of crazy. This thing looks like so crooked compared to my reference photo. I think it's because my camera is at an angle. It's kind of funny. So a lot of this back here is kind of a big blob. But I will try to make it, I don't know, more manageable. So right now I'm just looking for the darkest sections of blobs, and everything's in the distance, so blobs work for stuff far away. Alrighty, so you can see the difference between the first layer and multiple layers down here. How we are totally in the ugly duckling stage of this lighthouse. But we'll just keep on going. If we don't like it, we can always sand it out and put, I don't know, another palm tree in there. is still more in kind of the misty, distant area here.
How many loads did you haul to the brush pile?
9. And you had 1, as far as I know. Okay, so still kind of working on just that general stuff in the back there. And we have some trees. Okay, so we have a little bit of distance put in there with our island. It definitely needs more layering, but we have a pretty good start. Hi, Estella. Okay. Yeah. I dropped my thing. Okay. So let's zoom out and take a look here and see where we want to work on next. I'm really liking this area here because we spent quite a bit of time on it. Let's maybe jump out into some waves here. And we'll just kind of start working in this area now. Thank you, Estella. Okay. I'm gonna move me again into that corner. And we will continue on. So Terry says, in the rock formation, you see a sleepy baby dragon next to the palm tree trunk. I love it. That is so fun. It's fun to see those different shapes in our projects. Terry says, I did a beach painting once, and when I finished it, I stood back and in the clouds was a perfect bunny head with ears. Isn't that fun? I know that the train wood burnings that I've done over the years, people see all kinds of things. And I don't really see them but everybody is different, and it's so neat how you can spend hours on a project and not realize that it looks like, you know, in your case, bunny with ears. And you had to change it. Absolutely, Terry. I probably would as well. It's not my, you know, kind of goal to add hidden images. So whatever people see is completely their own imagination. Estella says, did you talk about using white on the water spray? Yes, I definitely would add some white acrylic paint on this one. You could painstakingly burn around all of the water splashes, but that's going to be a little bit daunting. So just kind of burn around the general area of the water spray, and then you can always add the I would go with acrylic paint on that one. It has a little bit more texture to it that would look very nice with the water spray. Alrighty, next we're just kind of jumping around here and adding a little more value out in the water. Terry, that would be beautiful to add some light blue-green to the water as well. And you could have fun on this project and do all kinds of colors if you'd like. So the sky is the limit on this one. But yeah, white for the highlights, some blue-green for the water. Would all be lovely. What do I have? I don't know what that is. I have a weird spot there. Yeah, Barbara, you could do acrylic splatters as well. That would be fun. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So you can see I'm kind of avoiding the splash zone in here, but I think I need to pull some more shading in that area overall. So it doesn't look quite so much like a outline or a cookie cutter. Thanks, Barbara. It is a fun project. Terry is asking, can you use masking fluid on wood burnings, or will it pull the burn off? That's a very good question. I've used masking fluid on wood burnings, but only after I've clear coated them about like 6 times. because I was going to add the alcohol inks over the top. So if you do a lot of clear coating, you're fine with the masking, but it might pull a little bit of the surface burning off. I know that just even clear tape can do that, as far as lifting off some of those upper layers of wood. Yeah, Barbara, even tape to mask it off could be a problem. Oof. Kind of got some really bad stop spots in there. Things are not cooperating, but we'll try to blend those out. Okay, just keep working. Yes, Barbara, it is definitely something to experiment with, to see even like how different types of tape can kind of mess with your burning. I know at some point I have had tape on a wood burning and I pulled it off and it lifted like the little wood fibers that were burned and took them off, and you could definitely see that there was some unburned areas there. And then they're like pitted, so you couldn't really burn over them very well. So I would be careful with using tape too much on your wood burned areas. Yeah, kind of need to be careful with that one. Well, I got kind of dark. We'll just make him a bigger rock and give him some highlights up here on top. That's better. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll just keep working on over here. Whew. Barbara says I would think to just do splatters. The tape would not have to be placed as tightly and use painter's tape. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely see what works best for you. Terry, that's a good question. I don't know that I've ever used drafting tape, so I'm not sure on that one. Oh. I think my long week is catching up to me. Whew. Good night, Lori Lee. Take good care of your hand. Wishing you a speedy recovery. Thanks, Terry. I appreciate it. We're getting pretty close there on time. Oh, we've just had some late nights here of late. Okay. All right, so we're still really working on this wave, and we'll see about, I'm still kind of touching up some of the darker areas. And then we'll start adding in some of the lighter midtones and get kind of the meat and the potatoes of that, that wave in place. Alrighty. So this is where the fun really happens, is where you blend, I think, the zones together. Barbara, I need to write that down. Honey's cough drops in hot tea. That is fantastic. Those, I love the herbal remedies. They're just the way to go, I think. Okay. So we'll just continue to keep putting in some little stripes in here. Make it more dynamic for our waves. Oh, that's really cool, Terry. I'll have to remember that one as well. Hey, hon.
Sweetie.
I'm thinking we might want to put out another bird feeder.
Okay.
Even just half full. That bird is being a jerk and running everybody off.
Start that in the morning, probably.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think it's probably
I'm gonna get up early tomorrow.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good. But just putting another one out, I think, will help everybody,
All right.
because we have this hummingbird that just is guarding the feeder and not being very nice. He's not eating or drinking. He just runs everybody else off.
Just, you know, bully.
He's being a bully, yeah. So I think if we put another feeder out, he'll have a harder time managing his little territory.
Well, we did a lot today.
Yeah, that's good. Lot of improvement there too.
It's a big bill.
Terry used to do spearmint holes. Oh, they quit making them. Dang. Yeah, Terry. Usually we have, I'm not sure what kind of hummingbird they are. We call them Cheeto birds because they look like a little flying Cheeto. Most of our hummingbirds are
It's a rufus.
It's a rufus. There you go.
Rufus.
It's a rufus hummingbird. It looks like a glowing Cheeto that flies around, and they are so mean and aggressive that they'll chase off all the other birds. And then we have the, was it the red-throated, ruby-throated hummingbirds, or our normal ones, and they can get a little bit aggressive too. But usually we have to deal with this mean old Cheeto bird, and he just is annoying and chases off all the other hummingbirds. But now we have another ruby-throated hummingbird, and he's being very naughty and driving everybody else off. So we're gonna put out another feeder. He has bad birditude. He has a bad birditude. I like that, Barbara. A bad birditude. He's a bummer hummer. That's really cute. Oh, they are very beautiful birds. And those Cheeto birds, the rufus, they have a different sound. They're like brrr, instead of like jingle bells. They're have a much different sound to them, which is pretty cool. They're fun to watch. And we've just recently had more hummingbirds come in, so springtime in the Rockies. It's lovely to have them back. So I'm trying to make the curvature of the wave with my, the stroke pattern. And then we're just going to kind of put in some splattery textured areas up top here. Then we can always add in paint later, which I think if you have more burning down, it will make the paint look better. If you completely avoid the waves with your wood burning tool and then you start throwing paint in there and there's nothing, like there's no dark base, I think it will look a little bit flat. So I am going to add more shading in and around the waves so that when we add the paint, it should have some nice shadows in there. To kind of build off of. Thanks, guys. We are making good progress on our waves. So I posted in Mighty Networks the bear skull that I found that we talked about last week. Just was crazy busy this week, and I was setting out the notification for tonight's live stream, and I realized that I had not shared that photo with you guys yet. I do have a video of me finding it as well that I would like to post. So if you're on Mighty Networks, definitely take a look at that. It was a really unique find. I've only found, it's the second time in my life that I've found part of a bear skull. And the other one was like 27 years ago. I was a teenager and found a part of a grizzly bear skull. So that was really cool for here in Colorado. Hey. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
I'll head that way.
Oh, you're headed back?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Terry is asking, how many more sessions do you think you'll have on this project? And no live stream next Friday. Yes, that's correct. That is a good, that's a very good question. Let's take a minute just to kind of assess where we're at, because it's easy to get lost in the details. This one is really coming to life. I would say we'll do this session and then probably one more, and then we'll be pretty darn close as far as the majority of everything. I'm gonna zoom back in. We'll really keep working on these waves here and see how much we can do, but I will need at least one more session to get pretty close, because we need to add some shading into our clouds and then all this stuff over there. But we're getting close, guys. Hi, Lisa. Glad you can be here. Wow. Yeah, Vivian, the bear skulls are quite rare. Whoops, that was too fast. I'm sorry. My camera is a little feisty right now. Okay. So I will try to just what does your family say of this one? I don't. You'll have to give me more information, Terry, as far as your question. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, no live stream next week. And then one more session should get us pretty close to wrapping up. I know I still need to kind of finish the Easter basket that we started a couple months ago. And yeah, it's just really crazy. Crazy busy. Like we've talked about in the past, completing an artwork is more about finding a good place to stop than ever being completely done. What does your family say of this one on the burning you're doing now? I think I've shown it to my family and they like it. So we're getting there on it. So we're still kind of in the splatter zone here. Thanks, guys, about the bear skull. I have, a couple other pictures. I'm not sure why Mighty Networks only lets you put one picture at a time, but I'll add some more there. Terry, am I going to do the paint with the splashes live? Yes, I have to because that just needs to happen. So I will make sure that we get this project kind of wrapped up, and there's I think a couple other wood burnings that we've talked about that need paint, and I keep talking about let's do a painting session, and then we are all excited about the next project. So I do need to take a break and do a painting session and kind of take care of a couple of the past live streams. I just honestly, I have not even been home, let alone in the house or in the studio for the better part of 3 months. It seems like I'm always either outside or in town working on projects. And my house completely shows it. I've not done laundry. I mean, everything's a wreck. And my lovely family and husband, they're very patient and all that. And they help out as much as they can as well. But yeah. It has been a wild couple months. It's like the monkeys are running the zoo right now. Which happens, you know. Life happens and we have priorities. We're trying to get outside and take care of stuff before the rain comes in and before all the plants grow up, because then you can't see the ground. So getting a lot of steps in. That's good. Almost every day it's like 14,000 steps outside. Can be exhausting, but I like it. It's nice to be outside after having winter for 6 to 7 months, and you can finally get outside and see the ground. It's like you just got released from prison. It's a lot of fun, and you don't want to be inside. And a lot of these projects are finite. We have to get them done before the weather comes in. It's that juggling of responsibilities that can be so difficult. Yeah. Barbara, you as well. And Lisa. Yeah, Lisa, I'm right there with you. I have a dresser, and there's like a mountain of laundry on top of it. It's all clean laundry, and it needs to be put away. But it's just not important or urgent. And so you take care of the hottest fire when it's on fire, and everything else just has to kind of take a number. All right, lots of back and forth motions here. I do want to add a little more like sea spray in here, just a few kind of random areas to tone down that wave. Barbara, yeah, you have a friend in Idaho with very long winters, yeah. It's a different world, for sure. Night Owl bought some colored pencils last week, and you notice they are watercolor pencils. You've never seen watercolor pencils before. Yeah, I don't even know if I have any watercolor pencils or not. They are a thing, but I generally don't use them. I really like the Prismacolor color pencils, and I think that they're more like oil based instead of watercolor based. Lisa, you like the watercolor pencils. Oh, that's cool. So can you like use them as normal colored pencils, and then you hit them with water, and do they like blend and kind of smear around a little bit better? Getting there on our waves. Terry says you can use watercolor pencils either wet or dry. Cool. Vivian, you have loads of laundry to do, and your knee, oh gosh, yeah, it makes everything much more difficult. Yep. Night Owl, do the oil-based ones blend easier? If you use the oil-based ones, I think they're oil-based. Just the normal Prismacolor colored pencils. See, this is what I have. Oh, that's not the best. Let me get a darker one that you can read the... So this is what I use. They're Prismacolor Premier. But the way that I love to blend these is to use, there's a blending tool. It's a clear blending tool. Let me see, I know I have some in here. I have cat hair everywhere. Oh, here it is. It's a colorless blender. And this is a great way to kind of work the colored pencils down into the wood and really get it to blend and sink in. A lot of times the colored pencils, they like to just sit kind of on the top of the wood, and they don't go down very well into the grain. So you put down your colored pencil, and then you use this colorless blender to kind of blend the colors and push it into the wood fibers. I have these on my Amazon store if you're interested, or you can just search them up. Either way, whatever is easiest for you. Hello, thank you. Let's see, Lisa's saying you color the area and then you have a fillable paintbrush. You fill it with water and then paint over the area with a damp brush. It is a very controlled way to do watercolors. That's cool. Michael says it blends easier, but I like the control of the tri-colored pencils. Cool. Cynthia, there you go. They're wax-based. You are right. Yeah, colored pencils are wax-based. Yep. And Michael says wax-based limits the amount of blending. It does. And so that's why I like that colorless blender. It definitely helps to push everything around, especially on wood. Barbara says the oil binder is stronger, whereas the wax binder in them is not as strong, but they're softer, which does limit the amount of blending, like Michael said. Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's all very cool and great information. I think when I got the Prismacolor colored pencils back when I was in high school, I think that's all they made was the wax-based ones. And now they have all kinds of different ones out there. So I'm trying to add a little more structure in this wave, even though we're going to add some acrylic paint to them. Paint will help for sure. All right. Oops, I lost my thing. All right, so we have a lot more information. Thank you, Mina, for adding the Amazon link to those. Wow, Vivian. You remember when the Prismacolor pencils were really cheap? I remember I was in high school, like my senior year, and my parents splurged and got me a set of Prismacolor colored pencils, and to this day I still have them. You know, I treated them like gold. It was, I thought, just amazing. Because it was an expensive set. It was like $100 set, and that, you know, to me was crazy pricey. So I really valued and treasured the colored pencils for decades. Terry says, if you look up what is a Derwent blender and burnisher, it will tell you the difference. That's cool. Thank you. Okay. How are we here? I need a little bit more. This rock was giving me challenges last time. Let's see if we can figure it out tonight. So I'm trying to make sure that my shadows on these rocks in the distance are not too dark. That is my goal. Oh, I thought there was a dog behind me. Okay. Okay. Vivian says, when you were a kid, you could get a set of Prismacolors for about $10 to $15. Wow. Now that's amazing. I really like them. I have a lot of fond memories of using Prismacolor. I actually did a beach scene, kind of similar to this, with Prismacolor colored pencils. Golly, that was a long time ago. Okay, so there's our rocks in the distance. And let's start adding in a few more waves. Alrighty guys, so yeah, just layer by layer, just keep adding more information here and keep working on our values, match our texture, and yeah, we're looking off to a great start. Whoops. Let's go like off the thing. Okay. Okay, let's take a little step back here and take a look at where we're at. Oof, as I drop pretty much everything. Terry, no, or Lisa, no, that's our oven that's beeping. You're good. Sorry. Didn't mean to scare your husband. This microphone is crazy, crazy sensitive. All right, so we're off to a really good start. This is still like right here, my favorite part of the picture, like the little light highlights on the waves, and then I know when we add the splash and all that, it'll be even better. So we'll do one more session. I need to, I think, add a little bit more here in the foreground, just kind of darken it up and make that a little more interesting. We have a little bit of undone stuff in there that can be pretty quickly done. And then this area here with our lighthouse needs some more layers. It's just a light sketch for right now, so it definitely needs a lot more work. And then as far as our, let's see if I can go further out. Nope, that's it. Okay. As far as our sky goes, our sky is looking pretty good. Pretty darn good. So I would want to probably add in a little bit more shading in the clouds, kind of blend the clouds into the sky a little bit, and otherwise wrap that up as well. So really love the progress that we're making. Mina, am I planning on working more on the sea? Yes, it does need more. I don't think it's quite done yet, but it's, I would say like 3/4 of the way done there. Yeah. You mean not the front waves? Yeah. No, back in here, it needs some more work as well, I believe. Yeah. All right. Well, I will not be here next week, Friday the 23rd. But I will be back the following week, the 30th. I do believe that's the right numbers. So, thanks again for being here. Sorry I'm a little bit tired. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Really appreciate it. Really liking this palm tree too. We're getting some nice dimension and depth in that one as well. So, thanks everybody. Alrighty. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I thank you again for being here. Have a great night. Good night.